Welcome back to Boomer's Playground, and this will be part 3 of the drag strip reaction timer project that we've been building. So at the current moment, we have our lights. They're not lit up. We click the start button. We have a arbitrary amount of time for the yellow to illuminate, and then we have an arbitrary amount of time for the green to illuminate from 0 to pretty much 3 seconds. And I think that's working well. So I think we're in a good spot there. So now the point is going to be, how do we decide how long it took the person from when the green was illuminated to when they clicked the button? So I'm trying to think of the best way we want to do this. So we have the start yellow timer. We don't really need anything there. We have the start green timer, which is kind of where we want to do some stuff. But we don't want to start counting down until this green circle has been illuminated. So how can we do that? So let's do this. Let's go to Google per usual, and let's figure out find time between 2 times JavaScript. And I know that might not be super helpful, but 2 times that are in 24-hour format, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so we have a new date. Let's see. What does the answers say? Okay, so they're using new date as well. So let's see what this date is about. So we'll do date in JS. And here we can read all this. I'm familiar with it, but you're looking and you can call date, and it will give you a time in milliseconds from January 1st, 1970, also called the epoch time. This is what almost every programming language uses when you use something like a time or a date function built into the language. So let's see, we'll do date. We do new. But we don't really want to give it a date because we don't know when this is going to be played. So new date, that was what everybody was using. Ugh. All right, you know what? Let's just see what we get here. All right. So let's just do new date. Okay, we get that. It's not really what we want though. Let's see. Time in JS. Date. Yeah, that was the same one we were just on. Date.now. The date.now method returns the number of milliseconds. Oh, so I was mistaken. Sorry. So new.date will give you the actual date that it is right now at this exact time. Okay, so that was my bad. All right, well, let's see what we get now. We'll do date.now. Okay, so we get that really long number. And then if you look, it's been incremented a little bit because it is, again, in milliseconds. So a lot of times people will use this as a way to identify if something was run on the exact same time, because the chances of you running it on the exact same millisecond are so ridiculously minuscule that this is a pretty safe way at the beginning. There are better ways as you move on, but this is a good starting point. So I think that's a good spot there. So I'm just thinking ahead a little bit here. So we're going to want to take a time from when the green light was illuminated, and then we want to take the time when the person clicks a button, and we want to see the difference between them, right? So let's see if we can even do that. So we'll do const a equals, we'll do date.now, and then a is that, and a is always going to be that because we set it to a variable. And so now let's do const b, and we'll do date.now as well. And then b, again, is the same thing, but it is a different number. So let's assume that a is when the green light was illuminated. And let's assume b is when the person clicks the spacebar or whatever key you decided that person should use. So if we just do b minus a, what do we get? Okay, we get something like that, which is fine. We're just like, oh, what the heck? And then what we could really do is we could just do b minus a. Oh, did I already do C somewhere? All right, let's just do D. It's B minus, oh my gosh. Yeah, B minus A. And then D is going to be that, and then we can do D times 1,000. Oh no, shoot. D minus 1,000. And then that was about 8 seconds between when we ran A versus when we ran B. So I wasn't really keeping track, so I'm honest to God not 100% sure if that's accurate. So let's do something that we know will work. So let's do this. So let's do a function, right? So we'll do function, test this. And the other reason I'm doing this is because I want to have controlled times. So we can do const a will equal date.now. And then I want to do a set timeout. And again, because remember, set timeout is going to wait a certain amount of time before it runs something. And let's just do let be. Well, actually, we don't even need that. And then in here, let's run date.now. And then what we can do is we can run this after, we'll just say 3 seconds. And let's do B minus A divided by 1,000. And I'm putting these in parens because the, why can I not think of it? The priority is the order of operations. So it's division, multiplication, and then addition, subtraction. So in America, in the area I came from, we did PEMDAS, which is PEMDAS, and they run in that order. They run parens, exponent, multiplication, division, addition, subtraction, with the PE being the same, the MD being the same, and the SA being the same. So if it's one of those two that are the same, it's whichever one's first. So by doing this paren, we're saying, hey, run this first and then divide by 1,000. Because if we didn't do this, what it would do is it would divide A by 1,000, and then it would take B minus whatever that was. And that's not what we want. But hopefully what we see here is we'll see a 3-second or close to 3-second difference. And then we can call test this. Oh, wow. I misspelled timeout like gangbusters, guys. All right. So set. I don't even remember now. Yeah, because it is all small. So set timeout. Okay. So now we should be fine. Why did that not work? Hold on. Oh, okay, perfect. Oh, well, because I'm an idiot and I forgot that it was going to take 3 seconds to run that. All right, so we have this, and then we're going to test this. We wait, and if you're a moron like me, you're like, oh man, what happened? And you'll see that it took about 3 seconds for those things to run. So now again, like I said, when you use set timeout, it's like really, really, really close, but there are instances when it's not going to be exact. But I would say 3 seconds with, what is that, 5,000ths of a second? I'd say that's pretty accurate, and that's fair enough for this basic application that we're going to make. So I think we kind of have we have what we need in place. So let's do this. And all right, how do we want to implement this? So I'm just going to put this code. Sorry, guys. All right, well, I don't know why that didn't copy, but all right, so we have the basic idea, right? So we have, time when green, and actually, yeah, let's start coding this out, guys. So I could keep them all in the start green timer, but I don't. You know what, let's just go basic and then maybe we can implement later. So I don't like doing this a whole lot, but we'll do let start time after green is lit. And we'll keep it as nothing. And then here we'll say time. Actually, we'll do time when green is lit. Time after green is lit. And so this will be when the green light is illuminated, and then this will be once the person uses that. So we might have to play around with this. I'm not sure the distance of putting it before or after the opacity, but we can play around and see what happens. And so here we can do time when green is lit will be date.now. And then what we can do is, I'm thinking, so we care about us. Let's see what we got here. So we care about a key press. Okay, so this is no longer recommended, though some browsers might still support it, blah, blah, blah. Usually it tells us what it wants us to use. Oh yeah, cool. Okay, key down. Okay, so we do key down, and then we do the event, and then we'll get the key code. So, all right. All right, so we want key down, we'll get an event, and let's see what the key code is. All right, so let's do, we'll just do document.add event listener. So when you do document.add event listener, it's literally just putting an add event listener on the entire window. So anytime somebody types a key, this thing will fire. So we set key down, we get an event. Again, I'm super lazy, and let's do this. So we'll do console.log, and let's see what E is. All right. And here, the cool thing about it is we can just, this event listener has nothing to do with these functions being called, so we can just call it before we even run the timers. And then I forgot to, I don't know if you guys saw this or not, but here I had E with nothing, and that was only because I had only console logged E and I did not log the event itself. So, all right, so we're on the page, we do E, and we have all of this stuff. So we have a code of the string of space. I'm not sure if this is new or not, but I don't feel like when I was, I don't know. I feel like I don't remember that being a thing when I first started coding, but you have this code and it will traditionally be the string of whatever the key that you pressed is. But I like to go with the key code. And that's because this is the ASCII code, I'm pretty sure. And so like if we check 32, end of medium, okay, oh, sorry, substitute. So yeah, this is like a sub, which could be a lot of different things. I think that's because it depends on the keyboard that you're using. But you can really use any of these. I'm just going to use the 32 because I want to. And so what we can do is we can do if e dot key, oh no, what was that? Man, now I forgot what I told you guys I was going to use. Key code. So we do key code equals 32. Let's do console.log. Awesome job. Else you suck. All right. So if I press space, I get awesome job. If I press any other key, I get you suck. All right. So that is working as expected. One of the cool things, let's see where we're at here. 14. All right. We should be able to finish this up. All right. So a cool thing you can do with JavaScript is called destructuring. And so if I know what I'm going to grab down here, so I know I'm going to grab key code, I can just put curly brackets and then whatever the thing is that I'm going to get from that object, right? So let's actually put this back and we'll do so we have all these attributes here. If you know which one you're going to grab, so like in our instance, we did key code. What was the other one? Code. Okay, so if we know what we're going to get, we can literally just do parens and then whatever that key is for that object, because these are all just really objects. So, and now this is going to break, but we now have access to key code without having to do e dot key code. And then you'll see here we get 32, and then that works. Also, if we wanted to use like the string, we could just do code, and then this will break, but the if will break, but we'll see that we get that space, right? So that's kind of a cool little trick with that. So again, I'm going to use key code, which is fine. And what we want to do is only if it's the spacebar. So if key code equals 32, what we want to do is we want to check the time between when we clicked this button and the time when green is lit. So what's going to happen here is we click the start button. We're going to do start yellow timer. Start yellow timer is going to happen. We're going to create a random number between 0 and 3 seconds. Then we're going to set a timeout. So we're going to wait for whatever this random time is. Then we're going to illuminate the yellow, letting them know that it's almost time to race. Then we're going to also call the start green timer, because that's the only time we want that green timer to start counting is after the yellow has already been done. So we're going to come into this green timer. We are going to do the same thing. We're going to create a random time between 0 and 3 seconds. And exactly the same thing. We're going to call this, well, almost exactly the same thing. We are going to call this date.now with this time when green is lit. And then we're going to change the green to white, or to be fully illuminated. And that's going to kind of be it for now. So that's all we really care about. And now we are going to want to worry about when we press a key. So if we press a key and it's a spacebar, what we can do is we can do, let's see, time spent. And then that should be time when green is lit. And remember, I'm putting it in parens because we want this to run first. And here we actually want, we'll just do reaction time. And it'll be date.now. And we actually, I was wrong about this. We don't need this one. All right, so that will be when you click it. And actually we want to do it the other way. If you guys hear those dogs in the background, I'm sorry. I'm watching my buddy's pups, and sometimes they go nuts. All right, and then we'll do 1000, and then we can alert and say you took and we just add it. You took reaction time seconds to react. And let's see if this works. All right, so we're going to do this, and key code is not defined. Not sure why. Oh, there we go. Okay, so we got that. We got yellow. We have green. And then we press that. You took, holy crap, that was a lot of seconds. That is not correct. Oh, it's because I did reaction time, not time spent. All right. Oh, whoa, what happened there? All right, so let's try this again. And I'm specifically taking my time hitting it for the green. 1, we got 2, we got that. And we took less than a second to do it. So I think that was pretty good. Let's try it again. And let's purposely wait. 1, 2, 3. And we took 2 seconds. So that does seem like it's running a little early. So let's actually move this guy down there. Again, I don't know the time difference between how quickly this runs. So 1, 2, 3. This seems a little more likely. So I think at the immediate moment, again, we're getting about 20 minutes long, so I do want to close it down. But I mean, at the immediate moment, we do have a pretty basic working, Christmas tree for the drag strip. Now we're not handling if you hit spacebar before the green is illuminated, and those times seem a little weird, but what we can do is in the next video, we'll kind of go into a deeper dive into kind of how to implement that stuff. And then that will be kind of the next version of this video. So as always, if you guys have questions, comments, concerns, leave them in the comment section below. Otherwise, like, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.